I'll start off by saying this, to repeat myself. I'm not yet totally invested in this, and I don't know if I'm going to be. It took me a little bit to get into the whole Edmonton run, and obviously that ended up being a little bit ridiculous. We do have Lafreniere, we do have Cyrus Armsden, but for me right now, I mean, it's a lot of younger players. The team's not exactly packing a punch right now, and maybe it is because we're on the same course that we're on with Edmonton, where it's just, again, no handcuffs, just build a team. And it doesn't take that long without the handcuffs being on and having limitations to put a team into a ridiculous spot to be successful. So we'll see what happens. Again, Edmonton and Anaheim are both short-term series. Anaheim might be shorter than expected. I'm not sure, because the running joke with Anaheim at this point is that we've made the playoffs in 3 out of 4 seasons. How much fixing did we really need? As it turned out, they just needed a new coach. And of course, according to EA logic, John Gibson, good team. So there you go. I offered OEL on a first, and OEL for a first in the league, and they told me to sweeten it. And then I did, and they went, oh, we don't want to take on the salary. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but that happens all the time. Do a streaming series of the Sabres. I've kind of rebuilt the Sabres before. That's the problem, though, in terms of like, oh, let's quickly rebuild another team. I'm not saying I'm already over the idea of being like, oh, I just, let's build a team without any limitations, but I am kind of over it because of just how easy it is. And it's like the thought of like, oh, we'll turn on the morale system. Like, even with the morale system on, it wouldn't be that difficult. Because you can keep players happy with power play and penalty kill time. Right? So it's not that difficult to build. It's not a matter of like, I want to rebuild a team. It's like, no, I need a new challenge. We have the Finland series right now, but I need a new challenge. In terms of like, oh, don't draft anybody, just sign free agents. It's like, eventually it's going to be a good team. It's, if it's just sign free agents, it might be difficult, but if it was like, oh, sign free agents and only make trades, well, then I'm going to be able to, use my draft picks that I'm not allowed to use to make decent trades to get underrated low elite prospects, and then those prospects actually turn into useful players, and we're successful, right? So, you can't trade anybody you draft. I wouldn't have to, because I can easily, as you can too, easily abuse the draft board. It's pretty straightforward. Turn it into Milbury mode. Milbury mode's not that fun anymore. Milbury mode's only fun in terms of giving the AI full control over franchise. Milbury mode's only fun when you have a super team like we do in Edmonton. This team isn't quite there yet. So, draft only people rated in the 6th or 7th round. That's still too easy. That's still too easy because of the amount of low elites that show up in the 6th or 7th round. So, I'm gonna call you Trade. Thank you for the follow. I don't know. The 500 record's slightly alarming. This still isn't supposed to be our first season of being true contenders, but it would be funny if this team can't make the playoffs when other teams did, It would be pretty funny. But, I mean, we won the division title last year with a little bit of a rough team. We're not necessarily tanking, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still stuck on that idea of the next challenge series to make it difficult. There's really, I don't know. Like I said, anything I do with this game, there has to be a myriad of different limitations to actually make it somewhat difficult. Embrace how easy this game is and have no salary cap, but owner mode. I have been embracing how easy it is by having no limitations and, doing very well with Edmonton. Draft from only US-based teams in the queue. That's the thing, though. Even with that, think about how competitive at certain points the Seattle Sea Cattle ended up being. Now, granted, we had 4 teams there, right? We had 4 teams to pick from, the Washington-based teams in the WHL, but we still did relatively decent. I liked Melnick mode with no scouts. Even then, if we were going to do no scouts, it might as well just be let the AI pick for me, right? That's pretty much the way to make it interesting. I'm going to turn off the UFC now. That would be the one way to make it interesting, right? Is to be like, oh, okay, well, the AI gets to draft for you. But even then, that, you know, I guess kind of takes away from some of the originality. Yes, DH, I saw Barkov's goal. You don't even have to mention what it is. I'm well aware of what it is. Thanks for every content that you put out. They're amazing. They cheer me up. Bono, no worries, buddy. That is unfortunate, though. I just read the rest of it. That is unfortunate. Reddit's gift cut him dribbling the puck in midair through the neutral zone. Oh, boy. It's going to be nothing but Barkov talk now with Deej here. Bono, buddy. I am sorry to hear that. That is never easy. And hopefully, this team disappointing me in the playoffs can cheer you up somewhat. You can only trade with one team. Bobby Ryan on waivers. Nah, I'm good. Thanks. Like I said, there's got to be an idea out there. Whether it be for Twitch over to YouTube or just YouTube exclusive. In terms of a challenge that will make it more interesting. But even for a straightforward series, as I call it, I want more limitations. Like the whole loyalty wheel that I'm testing out in Finland. Like, I look at that, and it's like, that cuts out some of the cheapness of signing free agents, right? That cuts out a lot of the cheap tactics one can use. 33, 26, and 4 at the deadline. We are currently in a playoff spot. Alright. How's the team doing? I'm going to keep this train going until Toogie makes a Barkov emote, right? Alright, so Gibson struggled this year, so the second the defense improves, the goaltending starts struggling. Carr's doing well, Fowler's doing okay. The third pairing's pretty rough. Drysdale, not exactly getting the job done thus far. We could buy at the deadline to bring in another defenseman. Dog Shabarkov. Deej, come on. It should be Sasha Bark off. You know that. It barks in the name. Which is why I know you went with dog shit. But still, Budzo, take it easy. Again, fun times playing FIFA earlier. Have yourself a good one. We'll catch you later. Boy, just the plus minus on this team is shit. Aside from that. I'm going to keep the team as is. I'm not going to buy. We're a young enough team. Sam Reinhart's broken in this game. He progresses to the low mid-90s every time. Hasn't for me, but that might be based off of EA's, set potential for him. Could be. Player morale, no salary cap, owner mode. That just doesn't sound fun. Player morale is easy enough to manage. It's just not fun. No salary cap is just ridiculous. Because again, they could just abuse free agency, right? So. I don't know. There needs to be an idea out there that's going to catch my attention. And that, will actually end up being relatively fun to do as well. Only allowed 6 players above an 88 on the roster. Stops you from making a super team. I mean, so most of my teams don't have that many players above an 88, though, at most times. I think Edmonton does, but even then, that might not be harsh enough, We need to think like the FHM historical challenges. What do you mean, like? I mean, I'm gonna play FHM eventually. I told you guys I'm gonna be doing the historical challenges soon. Not tonight, but soon. Oh, man. FHM plays. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I want to see how this team does. We ended up making the playoffs, I'm sure, with that record. Turn injuries back on. I might. I wouldn't even say it necessarily causes. I wouldn't even say that injuries necessarily cause issues, though, with difficulty. It's just more time-consuming having to fix the lines all the time, So, Draft, but no Palmer. That's not going to happen. It's a defense looking like the defense is fairly solid. Only one weak point with Jamie Drysdale. Do the alliteration team. That's the problem, though. It's like you can do something gimmicky like that, or you can do Carter's up to an 88. Or you can do like, oh, you can only draft these players. But I mean, the defense this season was Lindholm and Makar, Fowler and Hamilton, Montour and Drysdale. So Drysdale struggled a little bit. The pairings didn't exactly kill it either. I'm going to swap Hamilton and Makar for the playoffs. 17 points there. I might bump Montour back up as well. Let's see how that works, maybe. You can only play while hammered. Well, that's not going to happen because I don't drink. So, let's see. Lafreniere, 63 points. It's not too bad. 90 overall at 21. Armsden with a ton of assists. Not bad. 23 goals for Sprong. Tufty did all right. Henry did all right. Carter did quite well. Carter needs to get bumped up for the playoffs, obviously. So our top line is finally reunited. Let's see. Henry and Sprong are technically third liners, huh? That third line underperformed drastically. And let's see. Morrison, 16 goals, 2 assists. The reverse Brandon Beery. Or nearly Brandon Beery territory. How do I want to handle this? Maybe drop. I'm not sure how I want to handle this team. Tempted to bump up Henrique. Maybe that'll be a big enough change. The third line struggled, but I don't exactly want to drop anybody. Goalie-wise. Gibson finished with a 920, which isn't all that bad. I think that's the only change we might need. No scouting. Again, though, no scouting's not enough of a challenge, because if I'm still allowed no limitations on free agency or trading, it's easy enough. Because literally no scouting would just be let the AI draft for you, which is fine, but that's not limiting enough, letting the AI draft for me. I feel like I could overcome that, no problem. I feel like I could overcome that, no problem. You know? Vancouver takes the division. We're playing Edmonton in the first round, which is great. Let's see. Goals for per game. We're mid-table. Goals against. Second fewest in the league. Just behind Tampa. Power play at 20.6% was mid-table. Penalty kill at 85.5. Best in the league. Not bad. Oh, be a CHL team. Draft and trade players, and then the one single team had them be good. Not you. Let's see on the wait, what? Be a CHL team. Draft and trade players, sending one single. That's just weird. Draft and trade players under only 6 foot. I mean, we know that's not overly difficult, I'll admit. I mean, we did the whole Little Giants fantasy draft, where we took... Great name, by the way. Great name. Good old Boss. We basically did that. It wasn't draft to glory, but it was a fantasy draft, and we won the Stanley Cup in year 1. So, how about you place limitation on both drafting and free agency? Like what, Grey Dog? Like what? Where's the suggestions? Don't have it be, hey, well, why don't you just do this? It needs to be more in-depth than just saying, we'll do that. It needs to be, you know, more to that suggestion. Seriously, you can only have players on your team with exact potential. Still potential. So basically that's 27 years old and up, which isn't that difficult. I just wait until players are at full potential, and then either sign them or trade them. That's still too easy. That is still too easy. 25 and under. That's still too easy. Look at this team right now. Alright, so we'd have to get rid of Sprong. Tufty can stay. 25 and under is not difficult at all. I'd have to rework the defense a bit, but that's fine, because think of the trade value that a Lindholm or Hamilton has to move them. I could easily get somebody. I don't find 25 and under to be all that difficult to accomplish. 35 and older. 35 and older would be more difficult than 25 and under. By far. Especially with the way players drop off. Yeah. Handedness challenge. Handedness challenge would be just tedious as fuck because I'd have to double check every single player, especially on free agency. Could be done, but again, wouldn't be all that difficult. It would just be like, oh, okay, cool, let's waste more time in the menus. Oh, let's see. Nuge, McDavid, Pool Party, Newhook, Draisaitl, Yamamoto, Lindbergh, Simon Taval, Ratty, Spooner, McLeod, Tanev. Not a bad forward core. You can only have one line or so. Wait. Do a series like Colorado where you only have one line, so only 3 players above an 85. I've basically done that and won the cup. That was basically the catch in the whole Dallas fantasy draft that we did that time. I hate to say, Saros is a starter, Evan Fitzpatrick. Jesus Christ. Where the hell did you get those two from? Or how the hell? I know where they got them from, but still. 6'3" or taller. We have basically accomplished that as well. Draft a Glory Goon Squad. On the YouTubes. On the YouTubes. Alright, Anaheim. Let's see what you're made of. Let's see what you are made of. You have already made the playoffs quite a few times. First period of game 1. Okay, that's what we're made of. So much orange, by the way. If we could stop getting matched up with Edmonton in the playoffs, that would be great. 2 goals for Carter, goal for Makar. Second period, Jesus. 5-5 and smaller is also done. 5-5 and smaller is impossible. Carter with the hat trick. Matt Savoy scores again. Third period, Jesus. And that was that. There goes all of our goals for this series. Leeson, Savoy, and Armsden. 8-2 final in game 1. Not bad. 4-letter names. Could be done. I mean, that, again, in terms of that being difficult, not really. It's just more, will we end having to wait for players to be drafted? Like, that's not even, like, that's more RNG than anything, as opposed to it being difficult. I mean, as far as, like, what I can do to influence that series, the answer's nothing. It's just waiting to see if there are players with the names that fit. So, you know, there's a line between difficult and just pure RNG in terms of trying to make it difficult, you know? Game 2. 1-0 Edmonton, Draisaitl. Second period, nothing. Third period, okay, we score 8 goals and then get shut out in game 2. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. 26 save shutout for Saros. VA had a 2-color system for each team when they meet a team. Similar. What? Do a series where every player's on the team they were drafted by. That would require me to move players around, and that would be tedious as hell. So no. Only sign players to 8-year deals. I don't know if that would be difficult, per se. I don't know if that would be overly difficult. It would potentially cause issues with prospects and stunting their development. That's about it. Liam, I don't think that would be overly difficult either. Names that start with a certain letter or anything like that. None of it sounds difficult. Like, most of the suggestions in chat are just like, hey, do this to it, and where it would be purely RNG based and have nothing to do with me being able to build a team. Like I said, there's a difference. I'm looking for suggestions, I guess. That's kind of what this turned into. I'm trying to think of a series that would be challenging. There's a difference between challenging and a series that is based purely off of RNG. RNG would be, only draft a player with the first, with a 4-letter last name, which was one of the suggestions there. That's pure RNG. That has nothing to do with whether or not I get that pick or not, right? Or, that has nothing to do, like, that pick itself, it just comes down to whether or not that guy is actually good. It has nothing to do with what I can do. Especially if it's draft to glory and I can't trade up, right? Only 1-year deals? I don't think that would be too difficult either. You know? I don't like when you randomize what you can do or not. Like, the idea is to give them restrictions and work, not let randomize just build a team for them. Like I said, there is definitely a difference See if you have the slider 2K games. We could have fun. Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of the NBA sliders, I gotta admit. They're pretty ridiculous. 8-2, 2-0, 2-0. 3-0. Okay, Lafreniere with the empty netter. I thought I had already simmed that third period. Gibson with a 36-save shutout, 2-point night for Alexis Lafreniere. Draft to glory with player morale. Not difficult, Snack. I don't know why people are like, oh my god, you couldn't pull off building a super team with player morale. I did. We had player morale on in Vegas, didn't we? I'm pretty sure I had player morale on in Vegas. Look at the team that I built that I kept happy. You know? Player morale is not a major deterrent. It's just tedious. But that doesn't stop you from building a super team. Because you just keep the opposite players... Yeah, for a fact I had it on in the Vegas series. Because I remember we had... fucking what's-his-face with power play and penalty kill time on the first line, and he was still complaining about his ice time. So, yeah, player morale doesn't make the game any more difficult. I don't get why a lot of people are like, you couldn't build the team you have with Edmonton if you had player morale on. It's like, I totally could, because I've done it before. In series, you know? Good team, but really bad goalie. Define really bad goalie. And also, that just leaves it down to RNG. You know? Don't forget to use your cost slots in 2K. I will, probably, maybe. Second period here, 3-1s. 2 goals for Riley Tufte, a goal for Carter. Third period, and we have a 3-1 lead. Lafreniere, another empty netter. Nation United draft to glory. Tried a couple months ago, it was a rough time. I mean, it would depend on the team, and also no, just because I'm currently running a draft to glory series on YouTube, so no. Only play defenseman. That's a common suggestion as far as only playing defenseman. Which will probably be done eventually one way or another, but even then, it's how difficult would that really be? You know? I'm not sure how difficult that would really be. I mean, it says, you know, especially with building the team, where's the difficulty, you know? So my idea of no draft picks from earlier, but you can only trade your 7 draft picks. And if you sign a player, it's got to be for max term deal. And we limit your available trade value. You need to be sure. Wait. So my idea of no draft picks from earlier, but you can only trade your 7 picks. You can only trade your 7. Well, yeah. Who are the picks? What other picks would I trade? Ah, boy. 50 to 60 overall goalies. Again, that wouldn't make it necessarily difficult. It would probably more than likely make it impossible to ever win. I think he meant 7th round picks. You can only trade your 7th round. Okay, well even then, if I can only trade my 7th round picks, then I still have my top picks. So I'm very, I don't know, man. I've yet to see an idea in chat where I'm like, yeah, that could be worth it. No offense, but you know. Oh boy, first period of game 5. Carter and Drysdale. Carter is killing it right now. Second period. Are we going on to the second round? Yes, we are. 1 goal from Kylie Yamamoto. That is the longest amount of time it's ever taken me to sim through 5 games. But we have dispatched to the Oilers, and we're moving on. Do something dumb like forwards on D and vice versa. Again, that can be done, but is that going to be difficult? In terms of building the team, that's essentially what I'm talking about here. Like, you know, you can leave it up to RNG with like, oh, only draft this type of player, and then okay, it's just whether or not, if it's draft to glory style, it's just down to whether or not the game's nice enough to give me one of those players. You can have it be like, oh, play defense as forwards and forwards as defense. But it's not going to be difficult to build the team, and, you know, if you get what I'm saying here. Only draft and use female-sounding first names. Again, that's just down to RNG. There's no difficulty for me in terms of building the team. It's just whether or not the game generates those player names. Yeah? Just play Apex, right? Right? How about the worst shooting team, defense to glory? Define worst shooting team. What would be the judge of, you know, how would we judge that? Would it be like I'm not allowed to have anybody over 2-star shooting or 3-star? I think you've done it all. Close to it. Close to it. Like I said, because that seems to be a lot of the talk. You know, I've seen some comments on the YouTube side where it's like, oh, it's... Like, again, I'm not being like, look at how good I am at building a team. It's easy, right? And that's kind of why I wanted to do this, which is have fun, dicking around, building a team without limitations. And you see what's happened in Edmonton, and you see what's happening here. It's fun to play the game like this, but is it challenging? Not at all. So that's why, you know, when you look at me adding the whole loyalty wheel in the Finland series, that's an attempt to make it a little bit more difficult. To limit me being able to abuse, you know, signing free agents and immediately dealing them or dealing them within a season for draft picks or other players. John Gibson's a monster. How about you just play MLB? No. Yeah, MLB, where you can enjoy the same franchise experience, because we're not going to change anything. Which means you're probably not going to get my $60. But we changed road to the show. Ooh. Play with injuries on. Why? It's tedious. It doesn't make it any more difficult, it's just tedious. Because this game loves to have 2-day injuries. So you just spend more time in the menus and people are like, oh, you spend too much time fixing the lineup, just turn injuries off. That's what happens every time. 6'4" and taller, we've done it. You have to put players in their roles so there's no first liners in the second line. I've done that and won with that. That's not difficult. That's essentially what I'd been doing for a decent amount of time, especially with like the build-up process of these teams. Before with Edmonton, we're like, ah, fuck it, let's just keep building a super team. Alternate every year between Milbury mode and you controlling the team. That would at least be interesting, right? That would at least be interesting. To have to alternate every year between me controlling the team and the AI controlling the team. You know? That would at least be interesting. I honestly don't think you can make this difficult. Only two-way and only two-way draft to glory. That's probably going to happen eventually. I mean, it's a natural follow-up. It's a natural follow-up to the whole Goon Squad idea, right? Which is probably what we're going to be doing after... I mean, when you think about draft to glory in terms of... You know, what's going to happen after the Nation Series? I mean, we have the option to have it be only draft players from this region. We have the option to have it be only these certain player types and stuff like that, which we've done. So, use a random number generator in order to assign players to deals or draft players based on... I mean, so what? If I approach somebody in free agency, would I randomize 1 to 8? Essentially? And then how would we handle that with salaries? And then drafting, in terms of draft position, how many numbers would we have available? And then if we're just going to randomize a draft number, that's essentially the equivalent of just letting the AI draft for me. So again, that's all RNG based. That's not ridiculously difficult. It would just be whether or not the AI would actually draft me half decent players, right? So... You know, sure, it would be a little bit difficult to overcome the AI, but it's like, okay, is it draft to glory? In which case, it's solely down to the draft luck with the AI, and if I'm allowed to sign free agents or trade, then, I mean, I'd be able to overcome that no problem. So it's like, you know, in terms of a suggestion that balances the line of perhaps RNG and difficult, I don't really know if anyone's hit the mark just yet. Most suggestions that you guys have been posting have been more RNG based, where it's like, oh, maybe maybe the game will be kind to me. That's about it. Outright can't trade your draft picks or free agent signings. Still relatively easy though. Still relatively easy to work around. Because draft pick wise, again, if I have free access to draft whoever I want, I can stack the draft. And in terms of free agent signings, I mean, that's kind of what I'm already doing with Finland, where it's like, okay, you know, if I'm signing this guy to this deal, I have to stay loyal to him, but then I'd just be even more selective with the, you know, I'd be even more selective with who I end up signing. You know? Actually win with Sweden. Now that's difficult. Now that's difficult. Actually winning with Sweden. Fair point. Fair point. Armstrong gets the opening goal of this series. We're in the second round against Vancouver, by the way. Third period of game 1. We are going to overtime. It was Armsden and Sod. Third period? Overtime? Hey, Carter scores. We have a 1-0 lead. Draft players from a certain league. I mean, again, it depends on the league. And that's what I'm doing with Finland right now. Literally what I'm doing with Finland right now. What if you limit yourself to like 4 trades and can only sign 1 free agent per season? I'd still be able to relatively dominate in the draft, though, you know? It's like, you think of the main 3 things: trading, draft, free agents. All of which are easily exploitable, right? All of which are easily exploitable. Drafting-wise, obviously, if I have the freedom to draft whoever I want, I'm gonna take the best player available. Now, if you limit my ability to draft, or if you limit my ability to trade, then obviously that kind of handcuffs me a bit in terms of drafting, but then I can just take players a little bit earlier than I'd want to. But still, if I just sort by potential and just be like, oh, okay, there's a medium elite guy projected in the 6th round, I'm good to go. Like I said, it's trying to find a way to make it a bit more difficult in terms of trading, drafting, and free agent signings, without making it almost completely RNG based, but not completely taking away my ability to do something. You know? Can't trade draft picks, must select the highest rated player with your pick. Trade them randomly to a team for a prospect. So, wait, I can't trade the draft picks, but I have to select the highest rated player and then trade them. Then why even make the draft pick? That just seems like a lot of work for no reason whatsoever. Can't re-sign anybody until July 1st. I mean, difficult? Maybe. More than anything, it would just screw me over in terms of offer sheet compensation. Read the rest. I don't want to read the rest. Randomly for a prospect you can no longer sign. Wait, you can no longer sign a player. Fuck it. Open the trade block and accept all offers. That's basically Milbury mode. That's what we've called it. Well, Milbury mode's more building upon TDIs, accepting all trades, and letting the AI do literally everything. Brett Leeson scored against Vancouver. Brock Besser scores, and we have won this game. Henry and Spraw, 3-1 your final. Only draft busts. I mean, okay, but then what about free agency and trading? Because if I only take draft bust, we're never going to win because they're terrible. So, you know, where's the rest of the idea? If it's, oh, only draft bust, then what do we do with free agency? You know? Oh, goodness. Purple is much better than a helper team, so I could come in the 32nd team in the league. Sign/draft players for, say, Arizona, so your goal would be to make Arizona good. That would just sound... I don't know if... That would just sound tedious in terms of, like, oh, I'm gonna, like... In terms of thinking about it, it's like, well, then why wouldn't you just be Arizona? You know? You need to draft the first overall pick every year. It literally can be impossible, though. Elon, it can literally be impossible to trade for the first round or the first overall pick if you don't have the value or if the team doesn't want to make that deal. Again, you've seen it before where I've offered like a medium franchise goalie and 4 first-round picks, and the team won't accept it if they don't want to trade the pick. So that's literally impossible. Do an expansion draft, you choose, where you can choose X amount of players to protect, and outside of those, you just accept all trade offers. But in an expansion draft, most of the players don't end up having visions. The problem with that would be, it's like, okay, it's an expansion draft. Most of those players don't have trade value anyway, so I'd protect the ones that actually do, more than likely, and then I wouldn't get any trade offers for the other guys. I'd get 6th and 7th rounders, and then with those 6th and 7th rounders, I can just turn them into low elites late in the draft. You know? Do I have a Patreon? I don't. I was tempted at one point. I was very tempted at one point to have something on Patreon and to just be like, hey, an exclusive series, but enough people, you know, are kind enough to throw some extra support my way through Twitch where it's like, is it really needed? But I don't know. I've been tempted at times. ELC is only, and you can't qualify RFAs. Do I have any limits on free agent signings or trading? Because that could be difficult to essentially only have 3 years with players. But then you factor in, okay, whoever I draft, I just don't sign for 3 years anyway. So that by the time I eventually do, they're already half decent. Oh, man. Only draft goalies and play them in regular position. Not allowed to do that. Literally not allowed to do that. Can't be any more than $2 million above the cap floor. That's not bad. That's not bad, actually. Having a limitation on how much money I can spend outright. Which is pretty much, well, in fairness, we kind of did that. We called it Melnick mode, where the AI drafted for me. And well, we didn't sign any staff essentially, so we let the AI draft for me, right? So, but a limit on the amount I can spend is certainly a tad bit challenging. Who scored our goal in the first period? It was Vancouver. It was Boldy, Sprong, and Hamilton. Third period. We're going to overtime. I'm going to let that run. This has been a weird one just because, I'm not saying I'm not invested with Anaheim here, but, we've also been so focused on this. Well, and as I said, you just can't use any player from that draft. It's not absolutely required, but there's a reasonable penalty. Yeah. There's no challenge that would be entertaining outside of what you've already done. That might be the problem. That might be the problem. As Vancouver is back in this series. Matt Boldy with the goal. Must sign 2 terrible contracts every other year. I already do. They're called 1-year, $15 million offers. D-Arms, what's going on, man? 2 goals for Matt Boldy. Explain this RNG bullshit. I finished 57, 15, and 10 with the Islanders and franchise, and we get swept in the first round. That's how this game works. Only draft bust, only sign players over 35 that are under medium, top 6, medium 4. Well, AJ, the potential doesn't matter for someone at 35, though. So literally you'd just be saying, okay, only select 35-year-olds who are 81 overall or under. How do you think that's gonna go in terms of success level? Only taking draft bust and then only signing veterans who are under an 81. Like, how well do you think that's gonna go? Is that difficult or just kind of like tedious and hoping that random RNG bullshit happens in terms of us actually winning? Turn off salary cap, but keep a salary cap on yourself. That's not a bad one in terms of letting the AI go and go crazy with spending money, but I have a limit. That's not a bad one. Dominator, I like that. Only 5 followers away from 2,000. I know, I saw that. Like when I followed you about a month ago, or that account at least, it was at what, like 800 or something? You've passed me, damn it. Can we sub out teams with teams from other leagues? No. Not in franchise. You can in season mode, though, I think. Just here's a just kidding. Let me know. What if you could only protect 2 players every year from being traded? I think the problem with that... Now, would it be accept all trades aside from that? Like, I'm only allowed to protect 2 players and every other team... every other player, if I get an offer for them, I have to accept it? That could work. Can I drop the link in chat? Wow. Yeah, you can. I don't care. You might get bopped for it. Pyro would have to permit you. Let's see. Hold on. I think we might be on the right track here to something. Hold on. Not sure if this has been brought up. A suggestion for NHL 20. You should be able to use or control a real team, say the Flyers, and still be... Oh, so basically control multiple teams within franchise. I agree. That should definitely be a thing. I think random RNG bullshit's just about the only thing you haven't done. That's the thing, though. I have done the random RNG bullshit. It's called Milbury mode. And just waiting to see what the AI does with the team. You have a limit on free agency. A player every 5 years. An A player equals 87 or up. B guys every 5 years. One of the other 2. Draft picks. We drafted 7 picks a year. Only allowed 1 guy that is low elite or better every other year. 3, trading for guys the same way. You can trade for a prospect that's medium elite and can't draft over the 2 years. So just outright limiting what I may... Like I said, that's at least a good constructive suggestion as far as like, okay, here is how I would limit what you can do free agency-wise. It's not a bad idea. Duncan, what's going on, man? Kidding, that's not a bad idea. Oops, hold on. I can't see the chat at the moment. I accidentally hit the back button. Okay, now I'm good. Alright, Anaheim. Quickly here. You know what? Hold on one second. I hate that Anaheim's taking such a back seat here, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I do like that idea of the other teams not being affected by the cap. I really like that idea a lot, actually. In terms of turning off the salary cap, but limiting myself to what I can spend. I actually like that a lot. Oh boy, Vancouver's going to tie this series, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Alright. So the home team hasn't won through 4 games here in the second round. Carter's still an absolute beast. But we are all tied up. Carter has 12 points. Need to add more of the old school jersey in NHL 20. That I agree with. Switch the AHL and NHL teams. Have the AHL starting lineup in the NHL. I mean, that's not difficult, though. That's essentially condemning yourself to having a terrible team. Especially, too, because I could sign every 80 to 78 overall veteran who's willing to take a 2-way contract. So that's, again, that's not difficult. That's just condemning your team to being terrible. Where's the challenge in that? In terms of, you know, limiting my ability to build the team, but still, like, that's what I'm trying to find. Where is that mix? What rules could we put into place to make this difficult for me to build a team, but still making it possible for me to build a cup-winning team? If we're talking 35 and up or whatever, you know, is it possible for me to build a cup-winning team? Probably, but how difficult is that going to be really, especially, too, if there aren't limitations on free agency or trading? But, obviously, there has to be. But how much can you really limit free agency and trading? Because there's no other way for me to get players who are 35 and up, because the draft then becomes completely irrelevant, aside from me potentially being able to use the draft picks to make deals. You see? You see what I mean? As we go to Game 5, Quinn Hughes gets the opening goal. And Vancouver has battled back from 2-0 down to take a 3-2 series lead. Play without cap, and teams don't seem to realize that there's no cap. Still won't take big contracts. Cool. So that idea is then completely out the door. Go figure. I get a little bit excited about that idea, and it's like, well, they don't even really act like the cap's off. Cool. Only use players with a family formerly currently working in the NHL. Now, what would you do about players in the draft? Because technically there wouldn't be any after the 4th year. So how would you handle that? Wish there's more you can do in order to limit yourself and making the games fun to play, but also difficult. That's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to see if there's any magical suggestion, you know? Like I said, I am not against, you know, doing what we've done with Edmonton and Anaheim, where I have no limitations. It's just building a team and having fun with it, right? Like I said, obviously I'm a bit more invested in the Edmonton one than this, because obviously, you know, the Edmonton one started first, and it's already been a crazy road. But, and we are up 2-0 here. Carter and Makar, 3rd period. We are going to Game 7. Bo Horvat, why is Miles Garrett easy to trade for in Madden? Because the trade system's a little bit broken. In theory, it's nice, but not totally. This is a discussion we've been having in the Discord server in the NHL franchise tab for months now. Well, there you go. I'm glad you've been thinking about it, too. Got the most 4 free agent signings a year. Can only have 2 picks a year, and they... Wait. Can only have 2 picks a year. They may not be in the top 4. I mean, even if I'm only allowed to draft players in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, I'm still going to end up with players that have decent potential. And if I'm allowed to trade, then that's easy enough. Right? Somewhat. Like if I get a player who's medium elite in the 6th to 7th round, then I just trade him for an actually good player. The end. And even if it's like, oh, no free agent signings and trading, draft the glory style, you can still end up with half-decent players in the later rounds. You know, I do it all the time. Think about how often in Anaheim and Edmonton in the past couple of drafts that we've traded down consistently. You know? Game 7 against Vancouver, out of nowhere. This has been the most... I don't want to say... I don't want to say, like, disorganized, but disorganized. Game 7, first period, is scoreless. Second period is not. Matt Boldy. Are we going to be bounced out of the second round? We have not made it past the second round. Daniel Sprong scores, although I believe this is our third time. He scored from center ice, by the way. I believe this is our third time going to the second round in, what, 5 years with Anaheim? Which is ridiculous. I'm actually very upset about the whole AIGMs don't realize that the salary cap is off. That's kind of frustrating. Overtime at Game 7. Let's do it. Are we going to the conference final? Is RN Jesus on our side? He is. Praise be. Daniel Sprong scores both goals. And for the first time since we've taken over Anaheim, we are going to the conference final. Not too bad. Not too shabby. We'll be taking on St. Louis. The very same team that caused us issues in Ed Money. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's Pittsburgh Columbus in the Eastern Conference Final. How has this team done? So Gibson's been lights out. Oh my god. 946. Lafreniere over a point a game. Armsden over a point a game. Carter's over a point a game. 5 points for Tufte isn't too bad. 5 for Henry. Sprong is a beast. That third line, absolutely nothing for the most part. And the fourth line, alright, we need to make changes to that bottom 6, I'd say. So, Timo is probably going to be dropped. Probably. Let's see. 4 points there, 2 points there. I'm going to bump up. You know, I might just swap Henrique. 78 face-offs. Not that I want Henrique on the wing, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. And let's go with you. It's fourth line center. Defensively, top pairings, not exactly killing it, but they're not exactly terrible. We're doing alright. Oh, let's see. To be fair to EA, center ice goals do happen way less often this year. I mean, in general, it doesn't happen often at all. Maybe you could put more sucky players in the draft at the end in order to limit your choices. Well, no, it's not about that. It's just random generated players show up as being great, so you're gonna take them. The only limit would be like, nope, you're only allowed one low elite player a year or whatever. So, like, you couldn't even be like, oh, okay, you're only allowed to select the player in the round they're projected to go, because, well, then I can just trade down. Unless I'm not allowed to trade down, but even then, I'd still end up with a couple of half-decent players towards the end of a draft anyway. You know? Oh, St. Louis. Conference final. Oh, boy. The Edmonton connection of Kaprizov and O'Reilly. Schwartz-Shen, Ratty, Piri, Kyrou, Bach, Blake, Costin, and Thomas. Offensively, Parayko, Pietrangelo, Dunn, Perunovic, Edmondson, and Forward. Not bad. Wow, these rosters have changed a lot in just a few seasons. I will not be surprised to see us lose here at all. If anything, we probably should. Razor, I have not revisited WWE yet today, as it is the 20 hours, like, would have just been up, or the 24 hours, so haven't revisited it yet. Only sign and draft French-Canadian players. Is it possible? Yeah. I mean, especially with the, you know, amount of players that the Cube pumps out. Don't know how difficult that would be, to be honest. Fantasy draft. Each year you must make a trade with every NHL team. It cannot be a stupid pick-for-pick trade. It must be a realistic-ish trade. I would have no value whatsoever. the team would be absolutely ruined, Sox, with me having to make 30 trades a year. And if anything, they would just be pointless trade after pointless trade of me swapping no value guy for no value guy who happens to be on their trade block. You know? First period of game 1, Makar and Leeson with the opening goals. So weird to be rooting against Kaprizov. Second period, we're up 3-1. It's Carter. Third period. Thank you, Gibson. We're going to overtime. Another center ice goal, by the way, as per usual. Power play chance early on. Come on. Killing them in shots. And there it is. Kuta gets his opening, or his first goal. Opens his account in terms of goal scoring. 4-3 is your final in overtime. We take game 1. YouTube Select just found out YouTube has bots taking down any channel with CP in the video's title because they assume CP means child porn, something like combat points, which makes, instead of something like combat points. YouTube bots, man, what are you gonna do? Only Americans that play in the CHL. West, that would essentially be the Seattle Sea Cattle series. Because the only, I mean, we'd also have access then to, like, the Flint Firebirds. You know, so we'd have, like, the teams in Michigan, teams in Washington. So technically it would be the Seattle Sea Cattle series with us having even more options. You know? And 4 free agent signings a year and only 2 picks. Again, Snack, I already responded to that, dog. No top 10 overall picks, no trades. I'd still be able to build a good team out of it. I would still be able to build a good team out of it. Game 2 against the Blues. Game 2 against the Blues. First period. Tarasenko the opening goal. Second period. Okay, glad to know we've shown up today. Glad to know we decided to show up for game 2. Way to go, boys. Way to go. Only U.S. players born to play in the CHL. Cofster, I literally just responded to that. I literally just responded to that. You guys gotta pay attention, man. You gotta pay attention. Damn. 29 save shutout for Anderson. This series is tied at 1 apiece. Well, we're going to game 3. I'm gonna laugh if we win a cup in 2023. Could happen. Could happen. It's difficult to think of a good idea. I know. Well, that's the problem, right? Is a lot of people are like, you're not making this, you're not making it difficult. Well, make it more difficult. Right? Suggestions to make it more difficult without having it be just solely based off of whether or not the game gifts me good players, based off of those limitations. As we get absolutely shelled in game 3. Only Canadian-born players playing in America. They don't exist. So that's literally not possible. Under 23. Again, I don't find under 23 or under 25 to be that difficult. I don't. And trading would have to be a part of that. Unless you were to say, like, oh, you're only allowed to trade someone, but for a 7th round pick. And it's like, okay, I'd still be able to probably find a couple of low elite steals in the 7th round. I don't think under 23, under 25 is all that difficult, I gotta be honest. I might be wrong, but I don't find it to be all that difficult. It depends, I suppose, on limitations with trading and free agent signing. If it's like under 23 draft to glory only, even then I don't know how difficult it's going to be because certain players, develop to a ridiculous extent. I'd still have 2 more years of Lafreniere, another year with Armsden. I'd still have a lot of time left with Carter, and he's an 88. So, it's like you look at the core of this team right now and how young they are. How difficult is it really going to be? Mike, what's going on? Trades are apart. Well, again, if it's under 23 and trades are involved, then I'm golden. Under 21. I mean, would under 21 be difficult? Sure. But it would also involve me at trading a lot. And if you take away the ability to trade or make free agent signings, then it's essentially pure RNG, the series, right? So, First period of this game, O'Reilly and McCarr. Second period, we have the lead. It's Qatar. Hey, look at that. John Gibson. It's what we expect from you. Over 35. Again, I don't think over 35 is all that difficult, really, and it's more RNG than anything. I mean, all I do is sign players to one-year deals in case they plummet in terms of overall. Right? Is that difficult to build a team always over 35 or 35 and over? Or is it just more luck-based? You know? Be a lot easier if EA's draft was broken with the amount of late prospects. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the draft system right now, but it's like if I have full freedom to draft whoever the hell I want, you know. I mean, that's the debate, right? If I have full freedom to draft whoever the hell I want, then it's too easy. But depending on the limitations, if you have too many limitations or too strict limitations, then it becomes just pure RNG. And the challenge is gone, and it just becomes whether or not I got lucky. So it's very tough to find that middle line of, okay, too much control, too little control. Where's the perfect medium to make the draft itself difficult? What about an average line rating cap? 3 players on each line have to average out to like an 80 or something. I mean, you can put a limitation on, like, you know, whether it be like, okay, first line role can only play first line. You can put those type of limitations on, but it's not that difficult to manage, really. Especially when you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, I have a medium elite prospect at a 78. He's a third line guy. Oh, okay, he moved up to the second line. So I trade my second line guy, bring in a draft pick and a third line player to replace him, or I just call somebody up. So, Kopster with the 22. Oh, I don't want to scare the dog. Emmy, wake up. Emmy, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to scare you. Fire in the hole. I scared her. I totally scared her. Oh, this shit is everywhere. Oh, this shit is everywhere. Kopster, you're the man. Is there a piece on my head? There's a piece on my head. There's a couple. Did any land in the Palmer? Somehow, not a piece landed in the Palmer. That's how you know it's magic. That's how you know it's magic, folks. It is going to take me 6.5 years to clean this all. Somebody buy me a broom. I have a broom. Oh my god, I'm covered in this shit. Alright, this is my life now. Oh boy, it is everywhere. It is everywhere. Kopster, well done. Congrats. Don't land in the Palmer. See, it didn't land in the Palmer. Oh boy, and Socks with that lovely, lovely Prime sub as well. Great timing, buddy. Great timing. Oh god. I don't even know what the situation is in this game. Lafreniere and Sprong. Tarasenko. Overtime. 39 seconds left. Thanks a lot, Gibson. And we lose in overtime. Cool. I'm going to try to dump as much of this onto the floor as I can. Because it is everywhere. I scared the hell out of my dog and I feel so bad. She'll get over it though. Maybe. And if not, I've traumatized my pet. In which case, I feel terrible. But, you know, what are you gonna do? It is everywhere. Oh my god. I could just reach anywhere around me and just pull up piles of confetti. Yeah. Shout out to the confetti can. Oh, you need to make 7 picks every year. Put your own restrictions on drafting, but those players can never play for you. So again, like Elon, so I just intentionally take the worst players possible. I just intentionally take the worst players possible, though. Unless the rule is I have to take the best players possible, and then I literally never sign them and just let them walk away for nothing. But then in which case, why would I draft them in the first place? That just means I'd be taking them away from the AI teams by drafting them in the first place. You see what I mean, dog? You see what I mean? I should probably clean some of this up. I should probably clean some of this up. I am covered in confetti still. Finish the message. Oh, I did! No free agent signings. Only value you can have is from trading your players. Well, Elon, that doesn't make sense. Elon, that literally means I could not build a team. Only draft players, but never play them on your team, and you're not allowed to sign free agent players. So, I draft players and then trade them. So, it'd literally just be only trade. No free agent signings. So, basically, I just draft the best players possible and deal them to other teams. That wouldn't be that difficult. Like I said, the only value you can have is from trading your players. That wouldn't be that difficult then. I just take the best players available and then deal them to teams. I draft all those beautiful franchise goalies and immediately deal them for a half-decent goalie. I'd be good to go. Right? I don't see any difficulty in that. Man, the top of this didn't even... God damn. Anything left in here? Nah. It's crazy how tight they pack in this this confetti, huh? Anyway. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Goalies galore. I said you wouldn't like it. Well, I don't know if it's a matter of not liking it. I just see an easy way to go around it then. Right? And that's just trading like a madman. Are we going to get bounced in 6 games by the St. Louis Blues? Or are we forcing a Game 7 and potentially earning the right to play Pittsburgh in the Stanley Cup Final? First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Third period, wave goodbye to Anaheim. We made it to the conference final, which is a lot further than I thought we would make it. 3 points for Shen and Roddy. They had a really well-rounded team. So I have lost to the Blues a lot lately. Oh, what kind of dog is Emmy? She is. I almost said the type of dog that my old dog Casey was. She is a Jack Russell mix, we believe, with a Whippet, which is a smaller greyhound. And by we, I mean my mom, who I got the dog with way back in the day, almost 6 years ago. We took her old dog to the Veterans Day Parade, the shotgun. Yeah. Emmy's not a fan of, Grey Dog, I understand that. Emmy's not a fan of fireworks. Now, I don't consider this a traditional firework, even though it totally is, because it's just a quick pop. But, yeah, like 4th of July is not a fun time for her. We were doing better at this point with Edmonton. Not really. I think we won our first cup with Edmonton by this point. I think we had won. This was the year we had won our first cup, I think. Or it was the next season. But we have made the playoffs in all but one season with Anaheim here. And I mean, I'm going to go check on the dog, but I'll let those lottery results speak for themselves, okay? Is she a howler when she hears sirens? No, Emmy doesn't howl. She barks if anyone's in her yard, but she doesn't howl. First cup one with Edmonton was 23-24. Cool, so we have one more year, and we've already made the playoffs in all seasons but one. So yeah, we're in a pretty good spot. There is so much confetti. Oh my god. Okay, it's everywhere. Checked in on the dog. She was definitely scared, but it's nothing a little bit of food can't fix. Let me just get this pile. My god. It is everywhere. Jesus. There's so much of it. Whew. Okay, what did I miss in terms of the topic of conversation? Oh, god. Trade picks 8, 9, and 10 for the first. I mean, probably, right? Okay, I'm not doing cleanup right now. I'll have plenty of time for that later. Oh my god. Like, I'm having to run over it. Alright. Shall we? Shall we continue? Let's do so. I don't know what the plan is for this draft, although... I might have something. Here. Ryan Getzlaf retires. At least we brought him back as a Duck, right? Grab a pile and throw it over you. I mean, dude, this entire floor is covered. Alright? Like, here, I can give you a little bit. This wire can't really go anywhere, though. I'm risking pulling on something. I mean, I don't even really know if you can see it, but I mean, yeah, it's everywhere. Like the floor is a disaster. It's rough. I'm gonna move that slightly over that way. There we go. Oh boy. Gotta clean it all up. The floor is covered. Yeah, that would be a little bit awkward, wouldn't it? That would be a little bit awkward. Just a little bit. But I mean, you know. Like, okay, I reached down to the floor and pulled that up in one handful, right? There's a lot of it. Room reveal. There's already been a room reveal. Problem is right now, I got so much stuff, like, tethered behind this computer. You know, with, like, not zip ties, but little Velcro ties. That shit doesn't move all that well. So I can't really move the webcam as much. You know? You know? Alright. So. Lottery results are too much for you, clearly. Right? So many Anaheim retirees. Well, you know. So. We have, like, 17,000 draft picks. Right? Boy. Yeah, this team is ridiculous. What's the full draft pick scope? So we have 8 first-round picks this year, and those are our only picks in the draft. Goaltending-wise, we have Lang. Gibson, Wallstead, Bertram also there. Well, it's not that I had to motivate the dog with food. It's like, I'm sorry I scared you with a confetti can. Have food. Is it sorted by value? Yeah, it was sorted by value, but still, look at the year. I know it's sorted by value, but that's because all these picks are this year and have the most value. They're all 2023. It was right. It was correct. We have 8 first-round picks this year. Defensively, how's the 29th more valuable than the 21st? Who knows, man. Defensively, we're still relatively stacked. Kofster, I don't have to sort by year. Are you, like, is that your OCD talking? Look at the years. It's all 2023. I mean, if you're talking about, oh, you might have more picks than that, sure, but who gives a shit about those? Okay, I think we have more picks. Okay, cool. I thought you were talking in the context of like, oh, no, all those aren't those like this year. I mean, as far as like sorting by year, yeah, we have more than just that. You're right on that front. Let's be honest, though. Does it matter that we have all those too? Probably not. Oh, God. All right. Fair point. I was wrong. But that's not why I thought you wanted me to sort by year, okay? I got you, though. I got you. So. Oh, boy. How? The draft is likely to crash. It might, but it should be fine. And then again, forward-wise, I mean, come on. So, it is either we go with option A. Shout out to Davis, by the way. It is either we go with option A and Keith, and we continue down the beaten path and have a ridiculous draft. Or rather than building another super team just with different names and faces, I take the year off. I take a nice vacation to the Bahamas, and in my place, Michael James Milbury. Is his middle name James? Don't know. Mike Milbury is going to take over for this team for a full calendar year. Either option A or option B. Super Team Milbury. Super Team Milbury. Confetti. Go through the draft and take a year off. Super Team, huh? I mean, it could happen. Everyone's saying super team. Damn. I thought there would have been more interest in seeing what the AI does to break this team down, but apparently super teams are in right now, huh? Super teams are very much in. So again, for those who don't know, Milbury mode is literally, I would let the AI handle this draft, all free agent signings, everything for a full calendar year. We'd go full automated up till next year's draft. Or, you know, we just sit here and build a fucking super team out of this, which we already kind of have a super team, and then look at everything that we have. Can we view the draft and decide? No. No, you cannot. I'm gonna leave it up to a poll. I'm gonna leave it up to a poll. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Super team, Milbury takeover. It's the only way to do it. It is the only way to do it. How are we gonna handle this next calendar year for the Ducks? Is it going to be a Milbury takeover for the year? Or will we go through this draft and continue building the super team, the path that we are currently on? What's the voting looking like? Super team in the lead. We normally go first to 20. We'll see how close it is. You guys are always so goddamn divided. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. If it is first to 20, this is going to be a very close race. It's going to be a very close race. Milbury takeover's winning. Question is, it's the Milbury takeover. All right. A vote back for super team, but I think it's too little, too late. We will take a step back. Did I type in Hillberry? This is Milbury. That's not an H, you idiot. We will not be going through this draft. We are going to step back and set everything to be fully automated. Every trade offer we get, we must accept. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. The idea was tossed out there to alternate between me being in full control and the AI being in full control. I'm gonna let the AI be in full control. I'm gonna do it. Why not? I know we already, we built a super team in Edmonton. We've already been on track to build a super team here. Let's see what happens. Now here's the problem. I don't know if the AI is actually going to send any offers during the draft. They're normally a little bit limited in terms of the trade offers that they send during the draft, but we'll see. We will see. I cannot believe not a single piece of confetti landed in the Palmer. That is a miracle, is it not? That is a goddamn miracle. Gary Sauce McGee. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I won't trade for any of our top players. Probably not. They might not even trade for any of the picks. The idea of Milbury is for the AI to control the team, then for us to take over. Not to ruin the team we already built up. I mean, no, the idea of Milbury mode is for it to be whatever the hell I want it to be because I'm the one that decided to make it a thing. So, incorrect. Incorrect. Oh, goodness. Alright, so, here's what we're doing. Alright? Here is what we're doing. I can go back up to 6. Waivers are on. That's fine. Don't know what I'm going to do about waiver notifications. I might just take anybody that shows up. Just to be a helpful GM and to help other teams, to have other teams, get a little bit of help to bail them out. The auto scouting's fine. Trade notifications are fine. Computer trades, auto sign free agents on. Auto rotate goalies on. Minor league assistant coach, you're good. Assistant coach edit lines, you're good. I'm gonna have to turn some of that off. Actually. Which one is it? I don't remember. Is it turn off auto sign free agents that affects... I don't remember which one affects the trade block being reset constantly. I don't remember which one that is. It might be auto resign. I'll turn those two off at the moment. And we are good to go. Injuries are actually going to go back on, too, since I'm going to have the AI control everything about the roster. So we're looking good. Hawk, what's going on? Let's do this. The AI takes over. Why not? Let's see what happens. Let's see how much the AI can ruin a roster in one calendar year. Alright, let's do it. We don't get a single trade offer. There was a franchise player at the top of the draft, and a Spurgeon. 5th overall pick. AI, make it happen. I swear to God, if there's a medium elite player, I'm going to be very upset. Milbury mode strikes already. That right there sums up how dumb the AI is, folks. That sums it up right there, don't you think? We have the 8th pick. You get a medium 6 grinder, Mrs. Kvapil. 9th pick is Lau. And the 10th pick is Gonchar. That's a whole bunch of average right there, and I never would have selected any of those players. Ever. Durfinator. Thank you for the follow as well. Please tell me it's Denis. Oh, Daniel Denis. Damn it. Damn it. Not a single trade offer so far, huh? We're just going to make all these first round picks, huh? Good old Bloom. The Blum. The Blum. 25th is Kondratic. Again, these are all players I'd never take, but we're going to let the AI do it. Another medium 6 in Fuller. And we have a pick in the 2nd round. Still no trade offers, man. Are we doing auto accept all trades? Yes, we are. Medium 6 Shelley. Okay. One of the final picks here of the 2nd round. Okay, sure. And this is good job, AI. Hey, I'll take that. We'll get a 3rd and a 4th next year for a 3rd this year. You got it, Pittsburgh. You got it. Again, the AI has full control. Our re-signings, everything. We ended up with it. Please tell me that's a Ryan Kessler. Oh, that's Rob. Would have been funny to end up with another Ryan. End up with a Solani, though. Timo Solani to the Anaheim Ducks. I'll take it. See, maybe the AI is not so bad after all, right? Just kidding, they are. Clearly. Oh, let's see. Good old Christie. Oh my God. So, see, the point here, in terms of like letting the AI have control, it's just gonna be hoping that they somehow strike gold just once. There wasn't a single trade there because for whatever reason, there was one trade, but a single trade for a player, even though I had the trade block set up for the AI to literally sign, or to, you know, to have the AI GMs literally approach me for anybody. One trade, and it involved picks. There simply aren't enough trades during the draft. It's brutal. Alright, auto resign is on. Let's go ahead and turn those back on. Great draft, Milbury. Well, you know. Oh, it does feel like a wasted opportunity to build the super team, but it's like, man, we know what direction this team's heading in, right? We do. I'm gonna let all of my scouts walk. Every single one of them. Let's, oh God. Alright, let's sim to the final day of the re-sign phase, and we'll see who we're in danger of losing. Because that's not gonna be horrifying. That's not gonna be horrifying at all. To see who we're going to potentially lose. Right now, it's only Jack Bedini for RFAs, which is alright. I don't get why I couldn't click the button from there, but alright. Let's see what we're dealing with. Alright, expiring. So McLaughlin has been qualified, but Bryson Bedini, he's not going to sign Davis. We're going to let go of Karpatsev and Vernarski. That's not... Vernarski. That's not good. Okay, that could have been worse. Alright. You know, there's a couple I'm a little bit concerned that we're letting go of, but it just seems like it's going to be tedious to fix the scouts. Probably. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? So we're not going to accept any trades in the offseason because it always resets the trade block after a signing. But we are just going to breeze to the beginning of the next season. And we'll see what the team looks like. So again, I'm going to decline every trade because it does reset the trade block, which is a massive pain in the ass. But once we hit the regular season, we'll see what we're looking like. Final vote was 23-16, by the way. Oh, people want Kondratic, who we just took in the draft. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Oh, man. Not Davis Davis. Yeah, I know. The legend known as Davis Davis is gone. It's a damn shame. But what are you going to do? At least we have Denis. At least we have Denis, though, right? We got that going for us. We got that going for us. Oh, man. This should be fun. Just to see how badly butchered this team's gonna be. Because why not? It was either this, or I just, build another super team the way we have it. The problem with Anaheim, right? The problem with Anaheim, there wasn't that much to fix. The team was in good... The team made the playoffs the first 2 years without us doing anything. The team made the playoffs. So, it wasn't exactly as exciting as, oh, Edmonton, we missed the playoffs in year 1 without really making any major changes to the team. Like, we traded Chase on, that was about it. But, we were already making the playoffs without me doing anything. Which just kind of goes to show how bad Anaheim's luck has been in terms of injuries and terrible coaching this season. Gibson's a good enough piece alone to get you into a series. Exactly. With how heavily weighted all-star level goalies are, It wasn't as difficult as I was hoping. The rebuild was not as necessary. Now, this Anaheim deal wasn't even planned. It was just like, oh, well, Randy's probably going to get fired, so let's do it. And then he did end up getting fired, which every Ducks fan rejoiced over. So, I'm intrigued to see how badly butchered this team will be. Because the answer is probably quite badly. So, there we go. The trade block is completely open. And we will sim to the start of the season and see what these lines look like. Gibson will be traded by the new year. There's a good chance of that. The question is not what name will go, but how many of them will go. I know the AI is going to butcher this team if it can. We're doing 3 years or just one? Probably just the one. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. My motivation to pull myself out of this mess might not even be there. Alright. Let me just double check the block. It should be fine. Nope. See, it reset it again. I don't remember why it does that. I think it's because of auto-signed free agents, but now that it's the beginning of the season, I can turn that off. That's right. It was auto-signed free agents. So, I'll be able to turn that off. And we'll just continue on since we're not going to have to worry about it. Watch us get no offers. Well, Oh, boy. What's tonight after NHL? I technically still have a second story to play on Resident Evil 2. I technically do. So, we are continuing onward with that until I beat the Claire storyline. And then, as far as what replaces that, we're closing in on the end of Mafia as well. And I don't know what's going to replace either of those two. So, we'll see. We shall see. Oh, boy. There we go. You act like we have a set plan over here. He's got a point. He's got a point. Alright, let's move back over. Nothing's gonna happen WWE-wise for like another week or two, guys, at the earliest. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is because of the whole download limiter. or the download limit in general. So, auto-sign free agents off. Everything else is good to go. Max Payne 2 or 3. Never played Max Payne 2. Liked Max Payne 3, but I don't know if I really have interest in playing it. Jak and Daxter. I would need to, I need to get, like, the collection for PS4, if it's even out on PS4. Have I played Dead Rising? I have. At least the first... Yeah, the first one. Long time ago, though. It was okay. Alright. What? Oh, God. Just watching it take a second to load is concerning me. Oh, boy. Like I said, I don't know what I want to play next. I'll figure it out. It could be literally anything. It could be me going back to the Batman games on this. It could be something on PS4. It could be something on the N64. It could be something Super Nintendo Genesis. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. Alright? I'm not worried about it. Still no trades, huh? Alright. It is going to be Forsstrom, who I think is low elite. Low elite 82 at 21 years old, Henrik Forsstrom, who was a 5th round pick with his 95 offensive awareness, is being dealt to Carolina for low top 6 Kalle Karlsson and a 3rd. Yeah, there you go. Seems like a good trade to me. Why would an opposing GM try to fleece me? Right? They're all nice people. Johnny's a good guy. I don't know why I went with the default name of Johnny for a GM, but what are you gonna do? Right? What are you gonna do? Oh, 4-4-1. We're actually not starting all that poorly compared to last year too. We ended up turning it around last year. I haven't even looked at the team yet, but we haven't seen any crazy moves to the point where it's like, well, you know, this team's already ruined, right? I am gonna go double check the trade block, but aside from that, pretty straightforward. Oh boy, come on. There we go. All right, 9-5-2, eh? Old 9-5-2. Is the block still good? We're currently in a playoff spot, which is hilarious and not all that surprising, but. Yep, trade block's still good. Trade block is still good. I didn't even see if the AI signed anybody for us. Let's take a look. Did the AI sign anybody for us? Still have Lafreniere. We signed Ryan Spooner. That's good. So we signed Spooner and Connor Sherry. Defensively, we ended up with Stahlberg, who I drafted. Yep, so Stahlberg made the roster. Don't know what happened to Drysdale. And Wallstead's our backup. Okay, we also signed Dominic Machine. Some Morrison, Leeson. We have some prospects missing. We have some guys missing from the 4th line. I'm a little bit concerned. Trades didn't happen, though, so. We still have the Champions tag. The AI hasn't ruined the roster yet, which isn't all that surprising. But I just want to see what kind of damage would be done, because, I mean, otherwise, it's smooth sailing, right? It's smooth sailing. I don't know, man. There's only so much smooth sailing you can handle where it's like, yeah, I need a challenge. This one's gonna suck a little bit too. It is Henry. Old Travis Henry, 22 low elite at an 84. He is going to be dealt for a 1st round pick and Pavel Kuznetsov. A low top 6. But you get a 1st round pick for a former 2nd round pick. I'll take it. Works for me. Thank you, Dallas. It's Night of Resident Evil 2 night. It is. It is. We finished the Leon story. It's moving on to the Claire story now. And then I never have to play it again. Thank God. And I never have to play it again. Oh, there's one of the first big names. Essentially Daniel Sprong for a 2nd and Carlson. Well, Daniel, it's been nice knowing you. It's been nice knowing you. You were pretty good for us in the playoffs last year. But you're off to Chicago. Apparently we're going to call up Dillman Fun. 14-5-2 record. Let's trade Daniel Sprong. Good idea, AI GM. Good idea. I mean, granted, we're not the ones who initiated the trade, but maybe we are. Did you ever think about that? Connor Sherry and a third for a first? It's easy when you sit there and sign free agents and then immediately deal them for picks. It's what the AI does too, damn it. That's what the AI does too. Unreal. We'll take it. I'm not even actively pick hoarding. The AI's doing it for me. I don't need control to pick hoard first round picks. The AI will do it for me. Second round pick for Brian Rustin, a fifth. Sure, Brian, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Stars felt bad for you. Why? Look at our record. We have the best GM in the league, the AI itself. What GM could you possibly hope for other than the AI Milbury? It's perfect, man. It's perfect. It's gonna take for fucking ever to clean up all this confetti. Oh my god. It's gonna be fun. Worth it though. I'm surprised though we haven't gotten an offer for like a Lafreniere yet, you know? No Lafreniere, no Gibson, no Hampus Lindholm. Nothing too crazy. Pretty surprising. I didn't even see who that follow was from. It was from Mr. Mantrina. Thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. How have we not gotten any offers in like a month? What's up with that? We're also still in a playoff spot. Thought that was going to be Lafreniere. A first in Morrison for a second in Brett Kulak. That is not worth it at all, which is exactly why we'll take it. What if Milbury wins you the cup? I don't think Milbury would have won us the cup. I think he just would have been the beneficiary of my success. You know? Just like how Peter Chiarelli's not the one who like drafted Marchand and Lucic, he just kind of inherited them. There you go. Case in point. And Bergeron as well. That was somebody else's work, man. I mean, we're going to win 30 games before we lose 20 at this rate. Did you win the cup? We did not. We lost to the Blues in the conference final and then handed control over to the AI. We had the choice with the fucking 8 first-round picks to either continue on the super team path or let the AI take over and just see what the hell happens. Where did the name Milbury come from? It's literally just because Mike Milbury is one of the worst hockey GMs of all time. And the AI is typically bad at building a team. You see. Do you see now? Do you see now the correlation? Riley Tufte for a second-round pick and Harima. Cool. Tufte. 17 goals in 50 games. 84 overall. Harima is... Man, the AI loves trading for low 6, don't they? See you later, Riley. See you later. The AI has yet to let go of a major player for me. I don't think... Even then, Sador's not that major. Even then, I think I could survive this situation. Low elite, 80 overall at 23. We get a first-round pick back and Nabokov. I get a first-round pick, I'll take it. Oh my god. How many first-round picks do we have at this point? The answer's quite a few, I'm sure. More GM trade history. See, alright, we haven't done one in a while. But, again, you know how that works with me. I get interested in something, I overdo it, and burn myself out on the idea. It's just how it works. It's how the cookie crumbles, man. I'm waiting for... Come on. Where's that big trade? Is this team too good for the AI to completely screw up? Maybe. No Gibson, no Lindholm. Hodgson. That's another first-round pick. How many first-round picks do we have heading into this year? Hodgson's a pretty damn good prospect, though. That's who the AI took. So we're trading our number 1 pick from this year to Calgary for a first-round pick. Good call. Might take more than 1 year. Like I said, I don't know. The Anaheim run, I'm going to get Brian Little. Okay, that's a deadline buy. The Anaheim run might be over sooner rather than later because, again, there wasn't that much to fix. The team itself that we inherited, the team itself that we inherited was already making the playoffs. Too many good prospects as it is, not to mention, the ability to draft and then free agent signings as well. Cool, we'll take that one too. Again, still, nobody major. Nobody major. The Savoys, the Lafrenières. Denis is gone, that's fine. We're not going to lose a single major player, are we? Gonna do Bobby Clark for the next one. Maybe. Stahlberg, who we just took in the draft. Okay, Stahlberg's actually kind of good. Stahlberg's actually kind of good. Low elite 82 at 20 years old. That's kind of a rough loss. We'll take that though. There you go, Tampa. That's the one trade where I'm kind of concerned. That was a little bit poor for us. Brett Leeson. Oh no. What are we gonna do without Brett Leeson? Jaco, what's up, man? We have just a few days left before the deadline. We've still won nearly 40 games. Keith, no! And a first-round pick for Bjugstad. Jesus. Keith, have fun in Los Angeles. We have lost Keith. And thus the heart and soul of this series. Oh, shit. We were one day away from making it without a major player being dealt. We're going to lose Armsden just before the deadline. 88 medium elite at 23. For Galiev, who's a 64 at 19 medium elite and a first round pick. See you later, Armsden. Have fun in Washington. In fairness, the AI still didn't butcher this team as much as you would have thought. We're in first place in our division. Yeah, just to prove how far down the path we were of super team, right? I mean, this team's still in bad shape, but we still have Lafreniere, Savoy, Carter, Kuta, Kamel. Even then, we can still... I mean, our defense is still intact. Goaltender's still there. Even the AI couldn't ruin this team. That's how good of a path. That's how good of a path we were on. So... Oh, man. As far as the picks are concerned... Look at the AI. 4 first-round picks next year. 3 second-round picks this year. 2 firsts this year. Tell me that the AI doesn't know how to pick cord. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Is it cheap that the AI pick cords? I disagree. Or that I pick cord. I disagree because the AI pick cords too. Damn it, we have dropped down to contender status though. Freshman. What's going on? Oh boy. Alright, well, I just want to see, like, are we going to win our division? There's a good chance of that, but I do think our time with Anaheim is coming to an end here. Like I said, if we're just going down the path of super team, then, I think we're good here. I think we're good. Markham. Mark M. Markham. Thank you for the follow as well. Like I said, I think we're good with Anaheim. I don't know. I think there's not really much else we can do, right? It would be going down, at this point, the same exact path as Edmonton. Just a super team, and we see how many in a row we can win. I think we're good. I just want to see what, the final season standings end up being, but I think for the most part, we're pretty well set. Although we are losing quite a few games this month. And then we beat Pittsburgh 4-0, as I say that. Finally got my 50 follower goal. I already popped the confetti cannon, but congrats. Oh god, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Ah, where the hell did that one come from? Is there any more on me? Maybe. 46, 27, and 9. You can't stop this team. We need more cannons. They're only $3 a pop. Get it? A pop? Because it's a cannon. We didn't win our division, but we made the playoffs. Oh, boy. Anaheim. Anaheim, I think our time with you is done. The goal was to fix Anaheim. I think there wasn't really that much fixing to do, right? There wasn't that much fixing to do. We made the playoffs in our first 2 years. We only missed in season 3 because we sold. And then we made the playoffs the next 2 years anyway. I give the AI control for this season. We make the playoffs again. There's not much to fix with Anaheim. I think they're good. I think they're set. And clearly, if the pick-hoarding AI GM showcases anything, it's that this team's still in good hands. Because we have 17,000 draft picks. And the AI pick hoards nearly as badly as I do. So Anaheim, I hereby declare you fixed. Your problems are gone. Except they're not, because now Milbury's in control and I'm not.